Han Kang has been described as one of her country's best-kept secrets.
We're going to invite her to Rinkaby Library.
South Korea's push to export its popular culture in the form of K-dramas, K-pop and K-movies has paid dividends. The impact of the Korean wave is felt across sectors in Singapore, including food, education, technology and travel.
Such is the pull of Korean culture.
안녕하세요, 원다입니다.
이러한 현상은 한국 문학을 세계 무대로 끌어올리는 중요한 계기가 되었을 뿐만 아니라 한국어에 대한 세계적인 관심을 불러일으켰습니다. 특히 독학으로 한국어를 배워 한강 작가의 작품을 번역한 데보라 스미스는 세계인들을 놀라게 했는데요. 그녀는 한강의 작품을 제대로 살리기 위해 지나치게 의역하거나 영어식으로 바꾸기보다 사전을 하나하나 찾아가며 한국어의 맛과 뜻을 그대로 담았고 그 덕분에 한강 작품의 톤과 서정적 아름다움을 최대한 원서에 가깝게 살려낼 수 있었다고 하죠. 또한 한강의 노벨상 수상은 한국 문화뿐만 아니라 한국의 역사 전반에 대한 세계인들의 관심도도 끌어올렸다고 하는데요. 프랑스 24 및 세계의 다양한 방송들 역시 이러한 현상을 보여줍니다.
Han Kang has been described as one of her country's best-kept secrets. She's also the first South Korean to win a Nobel Prize for Literature. Han's books include The Vegetarian, The White Book and Human Acts, which describes a massacre in her home city of Gwangju in 1980.
We're going to invite her to Rinkaby Library where she would come and we would greet her.
So you think the Nobel laureate for literature will come to your school?
Yeah, no, not our school, a library in Rinkaby. Last year, Jean Fosse who won, he also came and this has been going on for 7 years.
We're going to talk about the Nobel Prize for Literature. It's gone to a South Korean author called Han Kang. Tell us a bit about her work, first of all.
Well, this is a very relatively young winner for the 116th Nobel Prize for Literature because Han Kang is 53 years old, the first writer from South Korea to win that prize. She's best known outside of her home country for the novel The Vegetarian. It was originally published in Korean in 2007 as a 3-part novel, and then it was translated into English in 2015 by that lady on her right, you can see. That version of the book was so successful that both Han and her translator, Deborah Smith, won the International Man Booker Prize for the title the following year. And Smith's translation of that book was really praised for making Korean literature more accessible to foreign readers through its innovation and creativity, the way she handled the text. What's incredible is that Deborah Smith had been learning Korean for only 6 years at that time, so she mastered it for a massive commission. Now, The Vegetarian, like much of Han's work, is quite a dark, bizarre read. It's set in contemporary Seoul, and it recounts the extreme consequences for a woman who decides to give up eating meat, as the title would suggest. It deals with some of the inherent violence of being a human being and living in society, something that Han often explores. So this writer's written about a dozen short novels, novellas, short stories, essays and poetry. She comes from a very literary family. Her father was a writer, her 2 brothers are too. And the Nobel Committee saluted her approach to writing, her intense poetic prose, which confronts the traumas of history, they say, exposing the fragility of human life. And it is true that while her stories operate on a surface level, social stories where you have human interactions, family dynamics, personal stories, they do also allude to sort of deeper questions of history, of politics, of abuses of power, the experience of the Korean people. For example, one of her novels, Human Acts, takes inspiration from the democratic uprising which took place in 1980 in Gwangju, Korea, which is actually her hometown, and the death of a character in that story is an entry point for an exploration of that moment in Korean history, the consequences on the lives of the people in that city. So Han Kang will be receiving that Nobel Prize in December. I presume she'll be traveling to Stockholm to pick it up on December 10th.
외신들은 한국 문학의 세계적 확장을 주목하며 한국이 이제는 문학에서도 메이저 강국으로 자리 잡고 있다고 평가했는데요. 영국의 로이터 통신은 한강의 놀라운 노벨문학상 수상으로 K-팝과 K-드라마, 오징어 게임 등으로 상징되는 K-컬처가 K-문학으로 확대될 수 있을 것이라고 보도했고, 프랑스의 AFP는 오스카에 이어 TV 드라마와 K-팝 스타들이 세계 시장을 점령했고 이제는 노벨문학상마저 가져갔다며 한국이 세계 문화 속 메이저로 자리 잡고 있다고 설명했습니다. 빼어난 서정성과 아름다움을 자랑하는 한국 작품들이 많지만 제대로 번역되지 못해 세계에서 빛을 발하지 못했다는 평이 많은데요. 한강 작품을 번역한 데보라 스미스가 사전을 찾아보며 한글의 의미 하나하나를 놓치지 않고 그 맛을 살려냈기에 부커상까지 받을 수 있었다고 하듯이 한국어를 배우는 세계인들이 많아질수록 한국 문학의 위상은 점점 더 높아질 겁니다. 사실 한강의 노벨문학상 수상 이전에도 세계적인 한류 현상으로 한국어를 배우려는 열풍은 거셌는데요. 최근 공개된 나이지리아 영화 마이 선샤인도 한국어 대사와 K-드라마의 클리셰가 끊임없이 나오면서 인기를 끌어 온라인을 뜨겁게 달구고 있으며 싱가포르에서도 한국어 수업에 대한 수요가 급증해 그 인기가 대단하다고 하죠.
From K-pop to top athletes, a survey has found that 2 in 3 Singaporeans have a positive perception of South Korea. Now, the survey, which was done by MediaCorp's media research consultants, spells out the top Koreans who have contributed to the positive perception. Footballer Son Heung-min tops the list, followed by boy band BTS. Ex-footballer Park Ji-sung is third, just ahead of girl group Blackpink.
South Korea's push to export its popular culture in the form of K-dramas, K-pop, and K-movies has paid dividends. The impact of the Korean wave is felt across sectors in Singapore, including food, education, technology, and travel.
K-pop stars and TV programs have become global cultural phenomena, while foods like army stew are widely known and enjoyed. Such is the pull of Korean culture. In Singapore, it has prompted a spike in demand for Korean language classes. This Korean language school is running more than 100 classes every week. That's more than double the number compared to 4 years ago, prior to the pandemic.
The increase of the students to learn Korean is especially during the pandemic. Many people back then, many people have to stay home. They want to find ways to engage in productive activities. And also during that time, streaming platforms have really become popular in Singapore. Especially Netflix, when you look at the top 10 drama or films in Singapore, you often see a lot of Korean productions on the list.
The school has tripled the number of teachers. Ms. Park says some students are also learning for other reasons, such as doing business or studying there. Travel to South Korea has also jumped. Last year, almost 350,000 people visited from Singapore. This is a third more than in 2019. It's not just language schools that are impacted by Korean fervor. Innovations by Korean tech companies have led others to learn from them, like this robotics firm. It's benefited from a stint in South Korea under a bilateral deal to facilitate startups.
One of the important things that we learned from interacting with those companies was actually how, I think, technologically focused and also aware the South Korean market actually is. They especially have a very keen interest in using anything that's robotics or machine learning to help sort of address their current challenges. This sort of plays into our, I think, our strengths.
The firm's robots make use of artificial intelligence and machine learning to navigate spaces. They are used for mapping and inspection largely within the construction sector. Mr. Chong says it's such deep tech that the South Korean market is leading in, and that's why Deconstruct is looking to expand there early next year.